we've clearly had several days in which there were no individuals crossing the Channel. It's hard to know whether that's to do with the deterrent effect of the policy or the weather in the English Channel. There's now been a couple of days in which we've had migrants crossing again. If this policy is going to work, it has to be a deterrent. And so we are going to have to ensure that those illegal migrants, when they arrive in the UK, are taken in some numbers to Rwanda for their processing. I think it could work. It's practically a difficult policy to execute, but I hope it succeeds. And I haven't, frankly, heard any alternatives from the opposition or from critics in the media who either are just hand-wringing and leaving thousands of people exposed to criminal gangs, some of whom are dying needlessly in the Channel, or secretly want unlimited immigration. And for a whole range of reasons, economic, social, that is not a good thing for this country. All countries need to have controlled migration alongside safe resettlement programmes like the Homes for Ukraine scheme.
It's too early to say whether it will work, but do you agree that Labour hasn't got an alternative to that particular plan about disrupting the people smugglers?
Well, I promise you I'll answer that, Jo, but I've got to... This is the most inhumane, expensive, extravagant policy, ridiculous policy that I've ever seen. It's one of the worst policies that we've seen emerge from the government. And I'd love to be, Robert, with you in 2 years' time when we're sitting here saying, well, why have so few people gone to Rwanda, if any at all? And there is that poll this morning, Jo, just to say that, where it was a swift poll taken of people coming across the Channel, where 3 out of 4 said that they'd come whether or not there was the threat. And the other thing to say is there's been a really worrying increase in people who have left the hotels, people who've come over, who've left the hotels where they are staying whilst their application is being considered because they're scared they're going to go to Rwanda. We are actually criminalising people at the most vulnerable. Okay. Is there an alternative?
Yes. What's your alternative?
Well, my alternative is you first of all got to have a safe legal route for asylum seekers. That just doesn't exist at the moment. There's no way you can come in. You can only apply for asylum.
How would that work? What would it look like, this safe legal route for asylum seekers? Because if you're in a country where you can't get to an embassy, let's say, or you're not in a refugee camp being able to make an application for asylum, what does a safe legal route look like if you can't get on a plane to come here and then make a pitch?
So well, I'm not going to do the details today, but we used to have it. We had it before. We had people coming into the country and seeking asylum. And let me just say this. Let me say the 3 things that I think. You need a safe legal system. You need an asylum where the applications are considered in a timely manner, efficiently. At the moment, we don't have that. And the third thing I say is, and going back on the people smugglers, where I think we share there that we want to go tough on them. I think you've just got to work much better than we are doing with our European and French colleagues to bear down on them. And then the final thing, one of my obsessions, this is dirty money behind a lot of this. This is, a lot of illegal money, and we need to have all the things that I've always been talking about to expose and fight dirty money. And so I think there is an alternative policy that you could pursue that isn't inhumane, that doesn't criminalise people at their most vulnerable, and that actually deals with the people smugglers that we all want to bear down on.
I share some of what Margaret said, but I don't think in essence it's going to work. What Margaret's saying is that if you were an economic migrant and you had some route into the UK other than crossing in these boats, then, you might make an application, apply, and not take the chance with your life to cross the Channel. In reality, these individuals are going to make that dangerous journey unless what Margaret really says is that she wants unlimited immigration.
I don't want to. That's Robert. That is no, Robert. You're misinterpreting. I don't want. I want a strong, controlled immigration system that does actually
you've got to deter people from making these journeys.
No, you have to have a safe route in, but you then have to deal efficiently and effectively with the applications. Maybe because I've been in politics so long, we used to have asylum seekers came in. They were then handled never as efficiently as one would like, but certainly more efficiently than today. And actually what happened when that worked was there were fewer and fewer people who came in seeking asylum. They did come in then through work permits, so they did come in through student visas. They found other routes in. People will always find routes in. And if you look at this current group of people who've come over from on the boats. A lot of them are Somali refugees. They are, you know, they are really people seeking refuge from war and strife.
All right. Well, let me ask Lorna. I mean,